Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining today. We're going to just wait a few more moments for everyone to enter. I know there was a Zoom update this morning, so I'll just give another minute or two and then we'll begin. Hi, everyone. Thanks for your patience. I think we can begin now. Yes? Okay. So my name is Dana Leibler. I'm a business development manager at Argentum Consultants. And today we are presenting two funding programs, PRIMA and EIT Food. But before we go into the details, I'll give a brief introduction into Argentum. Argentum specializes in EU funding and innovation funding as well. The company was established in 1999 and since then has had vast experience and gained expertise in obtaining governmental funding for innovative technology and research and development. We have 30 employees in 3 departments, strategy, business development, and consulting and writing. Our vision is to target innovative funding opportunities and to enhance participation and success in multinational research and innovation projects. The first stage of funding is choosing the call proposal. When a company chooses a grant for submission, they should consider the following criteria. The field. Bottom-up call is a call that's open to all fields of technology, whereas a top-down call would be a specific call that's aligned with the EU's agenda. They should also consider the type of funding mechanism, the European one, supported by the EU, like Horizon Europe, or bilateral, for example, a technological collaboration between 2 countries or a national funding initiative. They should consider the type of application procedure as well, whether the submission is as a single applicant or as part of a collaborative project, a consortium. The choice should be made according to the company's needs and strategy, while considering the success rate of each opportunity. So now I'd like to take the opportunity to introduce my lovely colleague, Florence Rouaux. She is a client strategist and head of Cluster 6, and she will continue on. And also, while Flo is presenting, we call her Flo for short, you can write any questions that you have in the chat, and at the end of this part, then we will have a brief Q&A section, okay?
Dana said, my name is Flo and I'm the head of Cluster 6. I will explain a bit further what exactly is Cluster 6 for those of you who don't actually know. So in order to understand the 2 programs we're going to talk about today, the PRIMA Med call and the EIT Food, we should first quickly review the main objectives and expectations of the European Union regarding the agri-food sector. Agri-food is a big term, but it includes actually much more topics that are really important in general. All these topics are part of the Cluster 6 of the European Union grants program. So that's why we refer to it as Cluster 6 Horizon Europe 21-27. And we're also going to talk about the Green Deal, which is one of the objectives put by the European Union concerning all the climate change expectations and wills to change. Okay, so for Horizon Europe, the European Union grants program, we have 7 directions for Cluster 6, and as you will see, there are some parallels with the all general Green Deal topics set by the European Union. The first direction of Horizon Europe is biodiversity and ecosystem services. The second, farm to fork, including all what's related to food from the moment it's born through the plant to the moment it reaches our actual mouth. The direction 3 is circular economy and bioeconomy. The fourth direction, zero pollution and clean environment. Direction 5, land, ocean, and water for climate action. Direction 6, resilient, inclusive, healthy, and green rural, coastal, and urban communities. The involvement of actually the civilians into the Green Deal program. And the direction 7, innovative governance, environmental observation, and digital solutions in support of the Green Deal. So digital here is a key word, so we'll talk about it later. As for the EU Green Deal's topic that correlates the 7 directions I just presented to you, we have protecting nature, from farm to fork, striving for greener industry, eliminating pollution, climate pact and law, ensuring a just transition for all, and leading the green change globally. All these are very important topics and keywords that we will see will come back in every program related to Cluster 6 and the Green Deal program. Just hold on a second. Okay, so in general, there are under the Cluster 6 of Horizon Europe, which functions as an umbrella, there are several important programs like LIFE. Most of them you probably already heard. LIFE targeting large-scale environmental and climate change projects, and FAF, that supports innovative projects to ensure sustainability in aquatic and maritime resources. And the 2 programs we're going to talk about today, PRIMA, that funds projects around the Mediterranean area, and EIT Food, which is one under program of EIT, and we still present these 2 programs separately. Okay, so PRIMA. Okay, a general overview about the PRIMA Med 2023 program. PRIMA is part of the European Program for Research and Innovation Solution, focusing on the Mediterranean region, and that seeks to fund projects contributing to sustainable use of natural resources, economic growth, and stability in the area. Everything is related to agri-food here too. So for PRIMA, in a glance, there are 4 thematic areas: water management, farming systems, agri-food value chain, and with a nexus that includes the 3 above mentioned areas, and focusing also on digitalization. For the PRIMA Med program, there are 3 sections. Section 1, that are activities managed by PRIMA with the European Union funds. We will focus on this specific section today. You have also section 2 and section 3 that might be part of a future webinar. Funding. Alors, for section 1, you have for the thematic areas number 1 and 3, every project can get up to 2.75 million contribution. And for thematic 2 and 4, so farming system and WEF Nexus, every project can get up to 4.1 million contribution. A very important note now, please pay attention, about eligibility. Not every country is eligible. You have all the Mediterranean area countries that are eligible, and also some very interesting additional countries that are contributor. I have to say here that Austria is not part of it. This is a mistake, and apparently we have here a version that I haven't updated. So we have Croatia, Cyprus, France, Germany, Greece, Italy, Luxembourg, Malta, Portugal, Spain, Slovenia for the European countries, and for the Mediterranean additional outside of Europe or third associated country, you have Algeria, Egypt, Israel, Jordan, Lebanon, Morocco, Tunisia, and Turkey. Okay, and the countries that appear here in bold are actually countries that are not connected to the Mediterranean area, but are still participating and eligible for funding in the PRIMA program. Okay, so for the specific PRIMA Med call section 1, so the 4 topics area, we have a specific setup for that. We need a consortium of at least 3 different entities, but as we will see later, it's very, very more acceptable to have a medium-sized consortium, meaning from 10 partners and up, and you need participation from at least 3 different countries when one has to be part of the European or to be a European member state. One of the consortium's participants will lead and coordinate the project. The other one will bring their expertise. It's usually very acceptable, more acceptable that a specific coordinator is part of a university, as they have more experience in coordinating such projects. So you will not usually see in successful consortium and projects a small SME with a team of 10 people coordinating such a big project with a high fund like that. Okay, as far as we talk about the proposals, it's a 2-stage submission. Okay, so we have an outline proposal of maximum 10 pages presenting the consortium, the participants, and the high level of the project. The deadline for that proposal is the 2nd of February. That means we have grossly 4 months, no, even less, 3 months. So that's why it's quite urgent to start, if we have a project in mind, start building it very soon. Then if we pass the first proposal, if the first proposal is the outline proposal is accepted, we can move on to the full proposal of maximum 50 pages, whose deadline is in July. For those of you who already know about PRIMA, you will notice that these 2 deadlines have been advanced, so it's quite early in the year. And of course, no modifications will be allowed in the consortium composition, the budget, or the scientific objectives between the 2 stages. As for the concept and participation, the concept will be based on the course requirement that we will present soon. And every participant will bring its expertise to the consortium while building together a project that has to make sense, meaning it has to be a win-win situation for all the partners. Everyone has to have a specific role that can advance the common project together. Also, the project's concept has to show a clear storyline and not a mosaic of expertise. It's like a puzzle. It needs to make a nice picture at the end and not a random mosaic that doesn't make sense. Okay, so now for the 4 thematics areas in focus, the thematic area 1, as I said, is water management. There are some specific general objectives that it's the general background that you should keep in mind if you want to present a project under this topic. So water resources availability and use of alternative water resources, sustainable integrated water management, irrigation technologies and practices. This year's topic for section 1, so the section that we are talking about today, and water management area, is prevention and reduction of nutrient pollution in Mediterranean, inland and coastal waters. It's a research and innovation action project, meaning that you have to have a research component, and it's a 100% funding rate. As I mentioned earlier, the total funding per project that you can get for the consortium is 2.75 million euro. Thematic area number 2, farming system. So here you can see again the general objectives required by the PRIMA-Med organization is adaptation of agriculture to climate change, development of sustainable farming systems and productive agro ecosystem, and the prevention of emergence of animal and plant diseases. So that's something that you should keep in mind when you're actually building a project around this thematic area. Just hold on a second, we have a technical problem here. All good? Okay. So this year's topic for thematic area number 2 is ramping actions to restore and return degraded lands in the Mediterranean region into productive agro ecosystems. You have also for all these thematic areas, you have, of course, a specific work program that we don't have the time to present here, but you have explanation, clear directions to take if you're interested in each of the calls here. This specific call is an innovation action. You don't really have to include some research component, but it's always better. Just it's not going to be the focus. And it's a 70% funding rate. For a total funding per project of 4.1 million euro. Thematic area number 3, agri-food value chain. General characteristic and requirements of the call are valorizing food products from a traditional Mediterranean diet, food safety in Mediterranean food chain and industry, implementation of innovation in the agri-food chain, promoting higher quality, sustainability, and competitiveness with particular reference to smallholders. This is also a keyword. We want to go local and we want to help smallholders advance in this area. The topic for this year, the exact call, is increasing agri-food supply chain cereal resilience in the Mediterranean region. This call is a research and innovation action call, which means that you have to have a research component, and it's 100% funding rate with for a funding per project of 2.75 million for the whole consortium. And last but not least, the thematic area 4 is WEFE, Water, Energy, Food and Ecosystem, the nexus. For the general requirements, you have to create synergies between the inseparable triangle for life and human development, which are food, water, and energy, environment, and climate security. Interconnection and combination of water management, sustainable management of water resources, farming system, and agro-food value chains. Enhance efficiency and good governance of natural resources. And finally, identify co-benefits and trade-off across the specific sectors. This year's topic is accelerate adaptation and mitigation to climate change in the Mediterranean region by deploying the WEFE Nexus solution. And this is an innovation action call with a 70% funding rate for a 4.1 million funding projects. Okay, so this is just a final summary of the 4 different thematic areas for PrimaMed before we move on to the EIT Food call. Water management, farming system, value chain, and WFE nexus. You should have two projects funded for each thematic areas. Yeah, it's in the average, and for a total of about 35 to 40 million euros. And in general, for these 4 topics or thematics areas, you have about 10, sometimes 11 projects funded. Okay, now we move on to EIT Food. Let's make the switch. This is also related to agri-food, so that's why we want to present these together, because they show some similarities that we want to highlight. First, I would like to give you a brief introduction on EIT. EIT is part of the Horizon Europe and European Union organization. It's funded by the EU, and it includes several communities. EIT stands, of course, for European Institute of Innovation and Technology, and it was created in 2008 to strengthen Europe's ability to innovate. It's part of the Horizon Europe program and the framework for research and innovation. The EIT organization has 8 knowledge and innovation communities that we call KICs, each dedicated to finding solution to a specific global challenge and sector. So you have here all the 8 KICs presented: the EIT Climate KIC, the EIT Digital, EIT Food, that we're going to talk about today, EIT Health, EIT Energy, EIT Raw Materials, Manufacturing, and finally EIT Urban Mobility. All of them present different calls that work quite differently. You have small calls with single beneficiaries, sometimes bottom up, which means that you can present what you want to get funded for, and sometimes, most of the time, it's going to be top down, meaning that you will have to present a project that is going under specific requirements according to a specific sector. Sometimes you have cross calls between 1 or 2 or 3 of the KICs together. But today we will focus specifically on the EIT Food community, and more specifically to the EIT Food Open Innovation Call 2023. So here we go. This call has been made for innovative project that will create a positive change in the food system. Project that will, of course, put new products on the market and introduce new and improved commercial processes and services. I don't know if you are aware of the EIT Food Open Innovation Call, but the EIT organization made several changes this year, and I will present you the new version because that's what's relevant now. Of course, a small note on EIT. If you're aware of the organization, it can seem like quite of a close club that sometimes opens their doors through specific calls. It is possible to get funded by EIT, and the advantage of it being working as a specific club, as we talk about here, is the fact that from the moment you have one foot inside, you can get all the advantages of the EIT advantages and opportunities by being able to apply to other calls or participating to some events that can open new doors to investors and more events that can boost your company. Here, we're talking So about the EIT Food Open Innovation Call, I'm going to present you in several subjects. So here we talk about 6 focus areas: protein diversification, sustainable aquaculture, sustainable agriculture, targeted nutrition, digital traceability, and circular food system. You can obviously see that there are some similarities to the general Cluster 6 Horizon program, but it focuses a bit more on food, although you have a lot of place for agriculture, agri-tech, food, and more general sectors. You have 3 missions: healthier lives through food, a net zero food system, and a fully transparent, fair, and resilient food system. These are the missions that you need to keep in mind while building a project to apply to this specific call. Regarding the funding, it's lower than PRIMA. It's between 600K euro for 12-month project and up to 1.2 million for 24 months project. We're talking about a 70% funding rate, and an important note here, you have a component of financial return mechanism that is mandatory, meaning that you will have to give back part of the grant you receive. You have several possibilities for this FRM, but we're not going to get into detail here today because it's going to take us too much time. We are, of course, available for questions later. Regarding the eligibilities, all European countries are eligible, as well as the 3rd associated countries. And Switzerland, here a specific note, because I know the Swiss SMEs feeling a bit on the side here. You can apply. You're not per se eligible, but you can require funding for your participation as a partner to the CERI organization. So you can actually get funded, which is very important. The setup. This time, we're talking about a small consortium. You see the smaller funding, so less partners. But you have to have 3 different entities from at least 2 different EU countries or associated countries. The consortium also has to include members from 2 different segments of the knowledge triangle: education, academia, research, or business industry. Okay, so 2 of them has to be represented. And one of the consortium participants will, of course, lead and coordinate a project. Here, once again, specific organization will be favored, for example, like academias and research institution, rather than SMEs in the role of coordinator, but not only. The proposal. Here, we're talking about a 1-stage submission. It's an online questionnaire on the EIT's platform portal, and you have 2 yearly cutoff dates. Okay, so we don't talk about a 2-stage submission. We talk about a 1-stage submission, but 2 possibilities. The first one just passed. It was in October on the 14th, and the upcoming deadline is for the 13th of April. So the concept and participation. Here, once again, the concept will be based on the call requirements as described in the call title and the call's info. Every participant has to bring their expertise to the consortium while building together a project that makes sense with a clear storyline and a nice picture puzzle, not a mosaic of different areas of expertise. Now, for the focus areas of this year, okay, for 2023. The focus area number 1, sustainable aquaculture. You will have to show a project that transforms the aquaculture sector by reducing its carbon footprint, transition to circular economy, ensure food security and safety. Focus area number 2, sustainable agriculture. the support of to support the European farmers in meeting sustainability requirements, and co-creating climate neutral, fair, resilient, and economically viable agriculture practices. Focus area number 3, circular food system. Circular is definitely a key word here. Encourage the shift from linear to circular sustainable food systems, ensure resources are reused, nutrients recycled, byproducts reduced, and waste repurposed. Focus area number 3, protein diversification. And you need to develop and adopt diversified protein-based solutions, which are healthy, sustainable, safe, and affordable. Focus area number 5, targeted nutrition. Support the development of a personalized approach to nutritional products and dietary guidance. You need also to create behavioral change towards more healthy habits. Focus area number 6, digital traceability. You can, of course, add digital in every other focus area. It's even better. But for this specific area, the digital traceability, you need to support technologies that makes it easier to digitalize traceability and logistics, improve the safety, efficiency, and sustainability of food through digitalization. Okay, so 6 focuses area that you can choose among in order to build your project. And now, if we need to compare between the two, we have the deadlines. Here, PRIMA met a 2-stage submission deadlines with an upcoming deadline for the outline proposal in February, and the EIT Open Food Innovation 1-stage submission with 2 deadlines per year with an upcoming deadline in April. Funding budget for the PRIMA Med, it's between 2.1 up to 4.2 million per project. For a bigger consortium, keep that in mind. Your project will most probably not be selected if you apply with 3 partners for a 2.1 million project. You need more partners than that. As for EIT Open Food Innovation Call, it's between 600K for a 1-year project, up to 1.2 million for a 2 years project with less partners. That's completely understandable. As I said, application type, small, medium consortium. And for EIT Open Food Innovation Call, it's definitely a small consortium. You can, of course, have a medium consortium, but then you will have less part of the cake, less money for everyone. As for the type of actions in the PRIMA Med, it's either an innovation action or a research innovation action. And for the EIT Open Food, it's innovation action only, although you have to have either a university or a research institution. Remember the specific triangle that was required, 2 out of the 3. And okay, here for my last slide, I would like to present you 2 winning projects in PRIMA. One is Medwater Wise in the water management topic area. The name of the project is Toward Sustainable Water Use in Mediterranean Rice-Based Agro-System. It's part of the 2018 PRIMA topic, Irrigation Technologies and Practices. As you see, it's very general, so you can bring it wherever it suits you to bring it if you have a specific project in mind. And the coordinator was the University of Milano with 11 partners. Okay. The other project that one that was selected was for last year, 2021, and it's Flatbread Mine towards new technologies and reformulations to development healthy flatbread from the Mediterranean area's consumers. And it's part of the topic called valorizing the health benefits of the traditional Mediterranean food products. The coordinator was a university, and it included 18 partners. both from industrial and research area, from 10 different countries. Now, really at a glance, because we don't really have time for me to explain what's the specificities of these two winning projects. What I could collect the information that I could share with you regarding the winning components and keywords. This is the specific components that I found in the two different projects. So first of all, an easily applicable idea and easily applicable innovation that bring strong society impacts, population involvement, very important, local production, and marketability. For the health sector, it's very, very important whether you choose topic, the topic number 1, 2, 3, or 4. You need to advance healthy habits, food safety, healthy impacts. The climate change adaptation is another component that is critical if you want to have a successful project. And it needs to boost crops resilience, energy efficiency, water consumption reduction. And finally, the agroecological farming concept is very important, and you need to bring forward the sustainability and the decarbonization of your project and highlight it if possible. Not everything will bring decarbonization, but at least sustainability. These are only keywords that will show you what are the favorite projects favored by PRIMA or EIT here. So as far as we talk about the consortium, you need a strong consortium, meaning that every partner has a specific role and brings an expertise, a story that makes sense, that will show also strong partnerships or build strong partnerships that will lead to a strong project with strong impacts. That's how they evaluate a project also. And of course, you will gain recognition if you bring digitalization in your project through data collection or data analysis. That will lead to strong logistics or successful logistics, which is the key, especially now that we have an energy crisis. A very weak logistic aspect of a project can lead to huge energy deficiencies and a very high budget for the farmers or the aqua cultivators and etc. So these are my inputs, really on one foot, if I can say so, for a general idea. I will give Dana the micro now, so she can keep going with the presentation, and of course we will be open to questions later. I was happy to talk to you, and I'll talk to you later for the questions.
Hi. Okay, I hope you guys can hear me. Okay, so this slide offers an overview of our proposal preparation process for consortia. A client of Argentum has two options: coordinating a consortium, which I'll expand on, or joining an external project already in the process of consolidation. The initial step starts with a kickoff meeting, which is followed by the work of a strategist who is in charge of finding proposal calls that are relevant to the activity of your company. This then moves on to the second stage, which is to consolidate a consortium if the program requires more than one participant. Otherwise, the process goes on to the coordination process, which is done by our development team. Finally, it reaches the consultants who write the proposal and submit it online after revision of a team leader. It is important to point out that the process is always adaptable, and as a long-term client, we are always on the lookout for new publications that open up and to the inner strategy of your company. As to our proposition, we know that the abundance of funding opportunities out there can become challenging to navigate because of the complexity that's part of the submission process, in addition to the many details and guidelines that every funding program entails. We've developed a unique method to increase our clients' access to funding while minimizing their efforts. We call this our multi-submission approach, which in a nutshell says submit to one, submit to all. By following this method of submission, our strategists and consultants are able to get a firmer grasp on the activity of your company, especially your technology. This allows us to write better submission proposals because we gain more in-depth of knowledge. Moreover, as a submitting company applying to various opportunities, you will have less work to do, be it financially or in terms of manpower, because we will work with your technology and tailor it to fit the multiple proposal calls. Lastly, this method immensely raises your chances of winning a grant. Now, I just wanted to see here, there haven't been any questions put in the chat. So we will leave it for now. Later on today or tomorrow, someone from our marketing team will send you an email with the recording and the details from this presentation, with the details that Flo presented on Prima and EIT Food. And you'll be able, if you're interested, to schedule a call with me to discuss these in more detail and see how Argentum can help you with your grant applications. So I wanted to thank you all today for joining us. And Flo is also thanking you. And we will look forward to hearing back from you. Bye-bye.